Hi, my name is Vanessa. I'm going to be giving a presentation on FAs. What is a functional analysis, or FA? FAs are part of functional behavioral assessment, and it utilizes experimental analysis to identify the underlying function of a problematic behavior. So let's say your client engages in tantrums or SIB, self-interest behavior, or aggression. This can be the sole method that enables confirmation of the hypotheses regarding the behavioral's purpose and the associated environmental events. Basic structures. So in a functional behavioral analysis, you study the combination of antecedents and consequences in the natural environment to observe their individual impacts on behavior. But this, in reference, is an analog addition format that involves a systematic approach, but typically occurs outside of the natural environment or daily routines. So the settings of an FA. FAs have been conducted in both natural and non-natural settings, but for the purposes and contents of these slides, we're only going to be discussing non-natural settings. The natural setting FAs are catered to certain behaviors and their reinforcement patterns that can be unique or specific that occurs in natural environments, so they could be idiosyncratic. Essentials of FAs. Each condition has an establishing operation and a reinforcement. So conditions are presented one at a time and in an alternating sequence. So with each condition presented, you're going to be recording the level to observe if the problem behavior occurs more frequently in one condition relative to another condition. And these are the conditions outlined. So there's play control, attention contingency, escape contingency, tangible contingency, and alone contingency. Play control condition. So this is going to serve as your control condition. It's going to be very individualized towards your client and their own specific preferences with preferred items and activities. So the setting is going to have preferred activities that are continuously available to the client, social attention is provided, no demands are placed, problematic behavior is ignored or neutrally redirected, and the expectation of this setting is that problem behaviors should be low. Attention contingency conditions. So the attention of the examiner or the person implementing FAs is diverted or withheld from the client, and when the client engages in a behavior, the examiner either mildly reprimands or a soothing statement is presented. So an example would be, "Oh, don't hurt yourself," and this is contingent on the problem behavior being engaged in. If you record or see that elevated levels in the contingent attention condition, there's going to be support of a problem behavior being maintained by social positive reinforcement. Escape contingency condition. So the setting is task demands are delivered continuously using a 3-step prompting procedure. 1, instruction to perform the task. 2, modeling how to perform the task. 3, hand-over-hand assistance to perform the task. And when the problem behavior is engaged in, a temporary break is going to be provided by removing task materials and saying, "Oh, we're taking a break." And this break duration should only last 30 seconds or a minute. If you see elevated levels of the contingent escape behavior, then the behavior is going to be maintained by negative reinforcement. Tangible contingency condition. The client is first given access to preferred activities and toys, and then that preferred activity or toy is removed. And then a neutral or less preferred activity is available with adult attention. If the problem behavior occurs, then a preferred activity toy is then returned temporarily, lasting only 30 seconds to a minute. If you see or record that elevated levels of the problem behavior in this condition, then it's going to be maintained by positive reinforcement to tangible access to items. And lastly, the alone contingency condition. So lower levels of environmental stimuli are present, the therapist and their task materials are absent, and the problem behavior is ignored or neutrally redirected. Is this maintained by automatic reinforcement? If the problem behavior is present and elevated in multiple conditions, then it can be maintained by multiple levels of reinforcement. If you have a client engaging in the tantrum, it can also be reinforced by attention or escape. A behavior can have multiple functions. However, if the behavior occurs in similar settings, similar levels across all conditions, then the results are inconclusive and often described as undifferentiated, and this can be indicative of automatic reinforcement.